Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to cover the process to set up an email list in Builderall. If you're new to the channel, I discuss strategies and techniques for building email lists. If you're interested in learning more about email list building, then be sure to check out the first link in the description. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the video. So to get started making an email list, the first thing we need to do is enter the mailing boss, which it'd be on this tab right here under this application. If you don't have this on your dashboard, you can install it right from here by going up to the apps, coming right down here to where it says drag and drop email marketing automation mailing boss. You click that and it will take you to the process of installing this. However, when you start up, the Cheater website builder and the mailing boss are the two applications that come on the dashboard by default. So unless you've removed it somehow, it's going to be there. So anyway, we're just going to enter that. And that comes up with the dashboard within Mailing Boss. And what we want to do is we want to create a new list. So there's a lot of different ways to actually get there through here. The way I like to do it is click that, click lists, and then just say create a new list. From here, what we're going to do is we have to input our general data. We're going to start with a name, and this is just a test list, so I'm just going to name it test list. What's the display name? We can call it anything that you wouldn't mind your recipient seeing. Down here in the description, you don't have to fill this in, but we'll fill this in for the tutorial. And over here, by default, Builderall does a double opt-in. There's single opt-in and double opt-in. But like I said, Builderall has a double opt-in. The single opt-in, I'll cover that first, is simply that your prospect enters their email address, hits submit on our form and our opt-in page, and they don't have to do anything else. Their email address would automatically go into the system and they would become a subscriber from there. There's no further action the subscriber needs to do. With a double-in opt-in, it's the same process on the front end. The prospect enters their email address, hits submit. Their email address then goes into a list, but it goes into an unconfirmed subscriber status. What needs to happen is that your prospect needs to actually go into their inbox, open the email, and click a link inside the email. That process, what it does is confirms them as a subscriber, confirms that they have received it and it is a valid email address. Then they become a confirmed subscriber, and if you have a sequence set up, it begins at that point. So the basic difference is single opt-in, they put their email address in, hit submit, they're automatically a subscriber. Double opt-in, they put their email address in, hit submit, they have to go into their inbox, open the email, click a link, then they become a subscriber. So it's just, it confirms that the email address is a valid email address and that the person has actually gone into their inbox and retrieved it. Again, by default, Builderall does double opt-in. Now, if you do single opt-in in Builderall, they require you to enter a reason and give a little bit additional data. By and large, what you're going to find with single opt-in is that you're going to get more junk emails. And quite honestly, I set up my double-in opt-in process so that the person really doesn't realize that they're confirming. I don't use language that says, go confirm your email address. I find that language is kind of insulting for anybody that's, not putting a bogus email address in just to get your lead magnet, asking them to confirm their email address. Basically what it says is that we want to make sure you're not a scammer. I don't like to do that. I just like to take them through the process where they have to go through their email and click on the link in there in order to get the product they wanted, just as my process. Therefore, I'm not insulting them by telling them or sending them the subconscious message that I feel like they're trying to scam me with sending me a bogus email address. So double opt-in is the best thing to use. With opt-out, just go with the single opt-out. That way they don't have to do anything else. If they're leaving you for a reason. They don't like you. I mean, I don't know how else to put that, but just to be straightforward, they don't like you anymore. And the last thing you want to do is make it so that you sound like you're, a salesman that just won't let go. If they come across you again and you've harassed them at the end like that, it's going to be a bad taste in their mouth. So just do the single opt-out. Tags down here, we're not going to do anything with tags at this point. And down here we hit next. Your form has successfully saved. Okay, as we scroll down here, we can see that all we have is just a field for an email. We are collecting no other data at this point. It's just tagged an email. The field is required. It's visible. You can add additional fields right here if you'd like. In many cases, I only ever ask for just an email address. It makes it much simpler. The more information you ask for, the greater chance you have of somebody just saying pass. Okay, so I ask for just an email. Many times when you ask for a first name or last name, somebody may, if it's just a first name, and I've actually made this mistake before, especially with autofill within Chrome. I'll go to put my first name in, and I start typing my name, and it starts to autofill. I click on the autofill, and it fills in my full name. So then when I receive an email from them, and it's of course automated, within the email composer, you put the tag in there to reference that data. So it pulls the data. Well, if I ask for the first name, and in my case, a lot of times, like I said, I'll fill in my first and last because it's the autofill, and I just want to get the process done. The email comes and it says, hi, my first and last name. And it's typically with an informal hi. You don't say hi, first name and last name to somebody. You just say hi, first name. So right from the rip, I feel like it's just automated. It's not personal. So therefore, what I try to do is write my emails in such a way that I don't necessarily have to use the person's name. Because of that, when you try to use the person's name and it comes out with that first and last because there was an error, or let's say that that autofill filled in their last name, so it says hi, their last name, you start off with you put your first step out is negative. It just leaves a bad taste in the reader's mouth, so you start out wrong. So I just like to eliminate that possible error if I can, because you have no control over the autofill. So again, just make it simple. Keep it simple. You don't need their name at this point. You just don't need their name. All you need is an email address so that you can send them the information that you're trying to convey to the world. That's it. So just leave it alone. First name. It's my recommendation. If you want to do something different, that's totally up to you, but that's what I do. So we don't have any changes, and we'll just scroll up here, and that's really the process of creating a list. If I come up here and I go up to my lists, you can see that we have the test list in there. It's the brand new test list, and this tells you the subscribers, the unsubscribed, and so forth. And from here, within Builderall, you can go right into it. You can update it, and you can see the information that we just filled out. And then you can go across these tabs and so forth and get additional information. We'll cover this stuff later, but what this is the pages that are tied to the list. This is going to be important for when we create our opt-in form to actually grab the email and then place it in the list. These pieces right here come up. It's very seamless within Builderall. So when we create our opt-in page, and you can watch the video on opt-in page, because these two things tie together and it's very seamless. It's one of the reasons I recommend using Builderall. It's a marketing platform, so tying your opt-in page to your list is very simple. Very, very simple with this platform. And it will be with any platform that's a marketing platform rather than individual, like if you were using something like GetResponse or Aweber. Aweber is the one that I would recommend if you weren't going to go to a marketing platform. But again, I do recommend the marketing platform just because it's so easy, and we don't want to get bogged down with being people who design web pages. We're not web developers. We're not developers of any kind. What we are is marketers. We're collecting email addresses. We need to stay focused on collecting email addresses for whatever our purpose is. Okay, so again, we're going to see this stuff when we go over to build our opt-in page. So just know it's right there, and then you can edit this stuff. This is the email that they get when they subscribe, the confirmation email. Okay, this is what it looks like right here, and we'll edit this stuff later on. But it builds it. It's automatic. It's part of the process of building your list. That's the entire process. We just built a list. If you have questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below, especially if you have a question related to email marketing, you want to know something. That allows me to build content that you want to see. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.